Hey Yogi, welcome to this little shoulder warm-up. If you are new here, I'm Rhi and this is Drake, and if you are returning, welcome back. So we're just going to work to open the shoulders. The kind of context to this sort of session is that I recently did an inversion. We called it an inversion asana lab, so like a little mini workshop with some of my students in person, and I'm not sure why that in-person caveat was important, but it was in person. And we did a little shoulder kind of just opening that my teacher has got me to do before I do any handstand practice or inversion practice, I guess would be a good one. So the focus of the session that I did with my guys was we were looking at forearm balance and headstand and different headstand variations. So we were very much going to be upside down a lot. So this was just a little warm up that I did with them, which might be handy. As I say, my teacher, who is incredible, Shelby, she got me to do this. So I do this warm up before I do any handstanding. And by that, I mean, if you're going to take a class that is handstand based, or, you know, if you're working on handstands and you're going to be like hanging upside down for quite a while, this is a nice way, or actually Pincha Mayurasana or headstand. This is just a great way to open up the shoulders so that they're a bit more available to be activated through those inversions. So not going to be very long. However, you will need a lot of stuff, unfortunately. So I will be using 2 myofascia balls, but you could use 2 tennis balls, 2 dog balls if you don't have, you know, dirty dog balls, or like 2 golf balls or something. So 2 balls would be great. We're going to start with that. I've got 2 blocks. You could get away with 1. Could you get away with none? No, you need 1 ideally, and a strap. Okay, so we'll make a start. I'm actually going to come up this end because I'll be in Drake's way otherwise. Well, no, Drake will be in my way, otherwise, I should say. That's what happens when you let your dog take over your life. So you're going to put your myofascia balls, or whatever you're using as a replacement, 2 of them. They're going to go either side of the spine, and you want to kind of start pretty high up the back. You can start lower, but I tend to start like a little bit higher because that's what my teacher told me to do. So we're really just using that to open up a little bit. So come down. It's going to be a little bit fidgety. There's definitely a knack to like lowering onto these balls that I do not have and therefore cannot pass on to you, but just find your way. So you want to start really at the bottom of the shoulder blade, and then we'll be going upwards, and really find that sweet spot where they're either side of your spine. And this is where them both being the same size is kind of going to matter. And then you can bend the knees, plant the feet, and then let the head fall back. I like to start just taking a couple of breaths, letting my body lay on the balls as they are. So just feeling nice and heavy here. Breathing through any intensity, and you know, myofascia, anything like that is usually pretty intense, or certainly it is for me. So if you're feeling that, then I'm with you. From here, I like to just kind of lift my chest a little bit so I can just let the balls roll up and down my spine a bit. And this for me is just, I'm not sure how much targeted opening this bit does, but this just feels great. I just like the feel of it. Stop when the balls are a little bit higher than they were when you began. So now we're kind of in the middle of the shoulder blades, and we'll do the same again. So hang heavy or lie flat onto them and kind of let your weight just really fall onto them. And then take your arms up, right arm out and down, left arm out and down. So side to side. Try and go straight out of the socket. I'm not really doing that on the left side because I keep hitting the plant. But for you at home, just keep trying to be strict with the like arm being coming straight out of the socket. Awesome. Then roll the balls a little bit more, get a bit into the right at the base of the kind of neck here, right into the sort of traps. stay here longer than me, but we are trying to kind of get, this is really intended as a warm-up rather than some full practice. Then what you're going to do is grab your block, and again, take your block to the place where we sort of started it. So, you know, if you're wearing a sports bra, it's kind of going to be above the line of your sports bra, and if you're not, it's just going to be sort of to the bottom of your shoulder blade. So take the block long ways. For me, a cork block is the only way to do this, not one of those foamy blocks, but you know, if that's what you've got and it'll work, give it a go. And then lie onto the block, shoulder blades are gonna open. Take your hands up to the backs of your head, let your head hang down, and then just lift and lower. Just really encouraging just to find some space in the spine. And like, for me, I'm not particularly open through the thoracic spine. I've got a lot of lumbar movement, which, you know, is kind of true of most people, but I always feel quite stuck in the thoracic spine, so like the mid to upper back. So this is perfect for me. This is great to help me open. And then release that, move up a little bit higher. So now you've got more of the shoulder blades on. You could like lift the hips as well, just if you want a bit more intensity. But I tend to keep them down. Nice, and then take them as high as they'll go. And I just from here like to let the shoulders fall off the side. So I take my arms out sort of in a bit of a T, let the shoulders fall. Nice. Come up and off that. Grab your other block if you've got two, if not, just use one, that's fine. I'm going to put my head on one block and then come on to your right side, bend your knees so your knees can come directly out of your socket, put the block in between your knees and then come down onto your side. Yeah, so you've got your right arm reaching straight out of the socket to the right. The block is just there like to, you know, it's this one is certainly, actually neither of them are really essential. They just kind of are nice additions. I like to squeeze the block in between my legs. It just helps kind of set the hips. Take the left arm, reach it beyond the right fingertips, and then sweep the left fingertips up and around. So you're opening up and then closing the book. I'm actually going to scoot forward a bit because again, the plant might look nice, but it's in the way. So sweep the left fingertips up. Try and keep the fingertips connected to the floor the whole time. Open up and close. So we're going to do a few of these. You can go at your own sort of pace. I like to not go too fast because I like to feel the movement of that upper arm, like the top of the arm bone, really in the shoulder socket. I like to feel it roll around or glide as it is, the glenohumeral joint. Nice. Take a couple more wherever you are. Really open up nice and wide, squeeze the block so you don't roll over. You want that to be like a twist rather than anything else. And then close. We're going to switch sides, so I will turn to face you, it's easier. But you could just roll over onto your other side, that's cool. So, this time you're sitting on your left side, you've still got the knees coming directly out of your hip socket, and then left arm is going to go down. The head can go on the block if it was on the other side. The right arms reach beyond the left fingertips, and then we're sweeping up and open. Close the book. Sweep up. Feel that kind of sweeping action there through your shoulder joint on the right side. Squeeze the block. Sorry, Drakey. I keep just caressing the dog's paw as I go past him. It actually feels quite nice. If you can do this without any obstruction, it would be more advisable. Opening and close. Opening and close. Two more. Last one. Try and keep the fingers sweeping across the floor or whatever it is that's in your way, and then stop. Lovely. Take the blocks out of the way, and then we're going to take the shoulders into some Y's and T's. So you want to make sure you can take the arms out into a T here. So you're going to come down onto your belly. Yeah, and the key here is you want to keep the cervical spine as flat as you can. So you kind of want to try, if you do have like a little rolled up flannel, my teacher recommends that. I haven't got one for this video because I'm not sure everyone would have one handy, but if you're doing this again, grab a little towel, a little flannel, like hand towel, whatever the thing, those, you know, the little towels. I don't know why I'm talking about this so much. And pop it under your forehead so that you keep your neck nice and neutral. Take your arms out into a T and then turn your thumbs to point up. Yeah, so you pointing the thumbs up towards the sky. And now we're going to lift the arms, but the action is by retracting the shoulder blades, not necessarily just kind of hiking the arms up. So don't think about height, think about the quality of the retraction, the shoulder blades coming together on your back. So draw them together to just gently lift and lower. Draw them together to lift and lower. Draw them together, lift and lower. Draw them together and lift and lower. This next one will hold, so draw it together, lift. Keep trying to pinch the very base of your scapula together. Shoulder blades are coming down at the bottom, squeezing in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, let go on 1. Whew, that's not easy. And then now come into a Y shape. So you're going to want to have your arms literally kind of going to the corners of your mat and coming out. Fingers, thumbs are going to point up again. Exactly the same. So try and keep the neck nice and neutral here. Try and tuck your tailbone slightly so you're not bearing weight heavily down into your belly for this. You really just want to isolate the work in the shoulder. So as you inhale, draw the shoulder blades together to lift you. Exhale, lower. Draw the shoulder blades together to lift you up and lower. 2 more. It's together, bottom of the shoulder blade. Imagine you're pinching that pencil together at the bottom and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and lower on 1. Whew. I really feel that work. So if you're somebody that finds it hard to really kind of get the bottom of the shoulder blades to retract, so it's happening up here like me, and you find it hard, that's like such a good one. Such a good tip. Not my tip. I'm passing these tips on from my own teacher. But I guess that's what teaching's about. Someone teaches you something, you teach someone else something. Anyway, I won't get too philosophical on that. Grab your strap, have it so that you can have your arms wide enough so that you could take the strap up and over without bending the elbows. So if it's too narrow for you, you'll know because you'll feel like you want to bend your elbows, and we don't want that. So if you've got a block, actually grab a block, sit to the block, so have it in between your heels. You don't need the block, and you could come up onto the shins here if you want to as well, and then really pull the strap away. So pull away with the strap. You're going to be firing up the biceps, triceps here. And then without letting the back kind of flare. So as we go over, we don't want, as nice as this might feel, we don't want this flaring. We kind of want to isolate it here. So try and keep kind of from the hip to just below your shoulders as in line as possible. Obviously there will be some compensation, but we're trying to limit it where we can. So pull the strap apart and then just lift up and come around. Try and keep your neck neutral here. So as you go up and over, try not to let the neck or the chin, I should say, like stick out. So this, which I think is a really tough thing not to do. You've got to be kind of conscious about it. And just take this a few times, nice and sweeping. Think about what your rib cage is doing, your pelvis. Try and keep all of that knitted in and neutral. Keep pulling the strap apart. So we'll just do a few of these. I just think this feels great. For me, this is something that everyone should do like every day, no matter whether they're inverting or whether they're doing nothing. I think like if everyone was doing this in between their Zooms and stuff, everyone's shoulders would just feel so much better. Keep pulling the strap apart on the up and over. So you're working there. And then, actually, let's take it to the front. And then release. Okay, so you're ready to do whatever inversion practice you're doing, or if you just wanted to open up the shoulders, then you know that's nice. So as always, thank you so much for practicing along with me and Drake. If you did enjoy the class, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It just helps us to grow. Until next time, yogi, thank you.